Beginning with you, Chris, how significant do you think all this is?
Very significant. It's been a problem that we've been aware of for some time with packages going onto planes, dirty packages, dirty bags.
When you say dirty, what do you mean?
That's a customs term, really. Okay. But in terms of the fact that they're illegal. And the main problem has been around drugs, the fact that they can evade security. They don't go through security, the bags. They go round the back and end up on the plane, perhaps in the hold, perhaps with a passenger. Our concern has always been that instead of drugs, it could possibly evolve into something more sinister. And that's been our concern for some time.
So you think there are gaps there just waiting to be exploited?
Absolutely. At any airport, that's a problem if you do have corrupt staff. And obviously at some airports are more corrupt than others. And you've got corruption, sometimes you've got just sheer laziness. And it's the intensity of the security and the vetting of the staff that's crucial at any airport, wherever it is in the world.
Sean, should Egypt remain a no-go zone now? Because it's not the first time tourists have become embroiled in terror attacks there, and I dare say it won't be the last.
Well, if you look at what the Foreign Office have decided to do in terms of this recent situation, they've basically said they advise against all non-essential travel through Sharm el-Sheikh Airport. Now, that's actually a very unusual step, because normally when they say this, they talk about a region or an entire country rather than specifically an airport. What they haven't said, in fact, they've been very explicit about this, they aren't advising against travel to the region of Sharm el-Sheikh. They think the security there is very good, and British holidaymakers can holiday there quite safely. So we're not talking about a whole country being dangerous and off-sale, but we're talking very specifically about an airport which does have some issues, as Chris was quite rightly saying there. There are other parts of the country, though, where, such as the northern Sinai, where the Egyptian army is in conflict with Muslim insurgents. And
the plane itself came down.
Exactly, where the plane itself came down. But bear in mind that Egypt is a very large country.
Yes.
Now, if you look at the Red Sea resorts, and Sharm el-Sheikh is the main one, they're pretty much autonomous from the rest of the country. In the south of the country, the security there is incredibly intense because they are very reliant on foreign tourists. So it's really not in their interest for anybody to be caught up in an incident, which is why it's quite surprising in a way that this horrible incident happened in the first place. And it's also very, incredibly good that the British government has stepped in and said that's just not good enough.
Let's just remind ourselves now of the exact situation with airlines and tour operators who work in and out of Sharm el-Sheikh. EasyJet have cancelled all flights today. They're offering refunds to people who can't now travel. Monarch has 3,000 holidaymakers in the resort. They hope to start flying home tomorrow, but flights to Sharm el-Sheikh are grounded until next Thursday. BA flights have been rescheduled for tomorrow and Saturday, but people who don't want to travel can get refunds. Thomas Cook has also cancelled its flights and holiday programme to Sharm el-Sheikh until next Thursday. And Thomson Airways has cancelled all outbound flights till next Thursday and is offering refunds or discounts on other holidays. Sean, if people have booked holidays to Sharm el-Sheikh, perhaps further away than that, what kind of comeback do they have if they don't want to go now?
Well, the reason why the airlines and tour operators have made this decision is purely because of what the Foreign Office have decided to do. Now, as long as the Foreign Office do get reassurances from the Egyptians that they have beefed up their security, that it is safe to use that airport, they will start flying again, and they'll do that quite quickly. Now, the reason why they've postponed, given people the option to cancel for a week or so in most cases, is just to give people a little bit of prior notice, in effect. But if that advice changes, then basically companies will go back to saying, well, OK, we won't force you to go, but if you don't want to, normal booking conditions will apply, and that could mean a cancellation fee.
Chris, if this is confirmed as having been a bomb, and that's what our government seems to think, what does it mean for the way the rest of us fly these days?
That's a very good question. I think, generally speaking, there are vulnerable airports throughout the world, even in the Caribbean, which is, well, I encountered this problem. You have got problems in a couple of countries where there is problems with jihadists. So it's almost now a worldwide problem. And I think what the authorities must look at now is upping the standards at these airports. That has to be done. And it's very difficult for a British government to impose British standards upon foreign airports and foreign airlines and so on. It is very difficult, but something I think perhaps now needs to be done.
Final question with a brief answer to both of you. Would you go to Egypt on holiday now?
I couldn't go at the moment if I wanted to Sharm el-Sheikh, but I'd certainly go to the rest of Egypt, and if the advice changes, yes, I would.
Chris?
I'd have to say, sorry for the workers out there, but at the present moment in time, the way things are, no, I wouldn't.